Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AITA. In today's episode, AITA for not wanting to give my niece bangles that my grandfather made for me? AITA for not wanting to pay my sister's college tuition? AITA for screwing my chairs to my table to prevent people from moving the chairs in front of my doorway? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. AITA for not wanting to give my niece bangles that my grandfather made for me? My 23F's grandfather was a goldsmith. When he was alive, he used to occasionally make gold jewelry for his daughters and granddaughters. He didn't make any for his sons or grandsons because we're Muslim, and in Islam men aren't allowed to wear gold. However, when my grandmother passed away, her jewelry, majority of which was designed and made by my grandpa, was equally divided between my dad, aunts, and uncles. My brother and Isael had my niece 8 months ago. They're planning on doing a family photo shoot and wants to incorporate grandpa's jewelry as well. My dad has already let Isael pick what she likes from the jewelry that he has for the photo shoot. However, my dad doesn't have any pieces that are baby-sized, but I do. She asked me whether she can borrow some of mine for niece. She looks through what I have and zeroes in on a pair of bangles. Grandpa made me those for my first birthday, and they're my favorites as well. I don't mind letting her borrow them, but Sael then asked whether I would mind gifting them to niece as an early birthday present. I immediately noped out of that situation. She left without borrowing anything, because she loves the bangles. My brother calls me later that day and asks whether I'd be willing to let niece borrow those bangles instead. I said no, but Sael is welcome to pick something else to borrow. But apparently Sael has her heart set on those bangles. We're currently at a stalemate. Sael hasn't replied to my message saying she can pick something else to borrow. We're currently at a stalemate. No, you aren't. The discussion ended once you said no. You do not need to justify, argue, defend, or explain any further. Just refuse to engage. My decision is final. Please do not ask again. I also don't think you can trust them. NTA. Suggest you also put them somewhere safe separately at home for when they do come to borrow. Out of sight, out of reach of sticky little fingers. As above, though, this isn't a stalemate. A stalemate suggests an ongoing bargain or discussion. You've been clear, no need to repeat or go back over. If they attempt to bring these up again, just respond in kind. All offers of allowing you to borrow any of these items is now gone. Folk need to learn respect and to listen to people who do say no. NTA. Stand fast, because if you lend them you may not get them back. Those bangles? Yeah, we'll return them next time we see you. Oh, I forgot to bring the bangles with me. Oh, I think I lost those bangles. Sorry. These bangles? Oh, they're mine. Why do you want them? They don't even fit you. They fit my baby perfectly. What do you mean, May? People who intend to return borrowed property certainly don't have their heart set on a particular item. It's like Isael and people in the same situation act like they're star-crossed lovers with these inanimate objects owned and often highly valued by other people. NTA. Those bangles are an heirloom and you are emotionally attached to them. She has no right to demand you to gift them to your niece. It's baffling to me that some family members think they're entitled to something that has sentimental value to someone. And when they are asked of the same thing, they suddenly find themselves unable to part with their own sentimental object. Those bangles aren't even an heirloom, it was made for Opie by her grandfather. If she wants to make it an heirloom, she can just pass it on to her own daughters, if she happens to have any, but she's more than welcome to not do so either. Isael is insane to even continue forcing the issue. NTA. That isn't jewelry that was passed down and left to be split among family. That was an extra special gift to you. It has sentimental value. It might be worth mentioning to them why you are extra cautious with those bangles. I'd be nervous about SAL keeping them based on her actions so far. And what if OP decides to have her own children at some point that she wants to pass them on to, or her own grandchildren someday? I feel like the brother and SAL might say something, if they haven't already, that OP doesn't have a baby. I'm obviously making an assumption here, and therefore doesn't need them, but OP could at some point, and the brother probably isn't even considering this as a possibility. OP, definitely hide them separately from the rest of the jewelry like someone else suggested, in case they decide to look at the rest of the jewelry again and think they can try to swipe them. NTA. I'd be afraid the desirable bangles would get lost during the photoshoot if you lend them to someone already that entitled. Or if not lost, it's going to turn into an ugly browbeating session with as many people as she can get on her side. You have to let her keep them. Look how much she loves them. She doesn't have anything special from him, it's baby jewelry, you can't wear it. You can't take them back, you'll make her cry. You're so selfish, you only think of yourself, how could you be so cruel to a baby? NTA. Your SIL sounds greedy and entitled. If your SIL walks out of your house with the bangles, you will never get them back, and it will cause a rift. Your instincts are already telling you that. Listen to them and hold firm. Those bangles should go to your daughter. I would hide everything elsewhere or locate a safety deposit box. I would trust that the bangles, etc., wouldn't go missing during a family visit. Well, you aren't in a stalemate, so to speak. The bangles are yours, and I'm getting the impression as you are that you'll never have them returned if they are borrowed, so, NTA, and I wouldn't let them out of my sight. NTA. Do not lend those to her. They will get lost or become such a loved memory that you would be heartless for tearing out a reminder of the love of her great-grandfather from the hands of a baby. Lend them, lose them. Exactly. Look. The baby clearly loves the bangles. Will you break a baby's heart by taking them away? You monster. Entire family, look at this monster trying to break my baby's heart. So selfish and materialistic. Locks bangles away so OP never even sees them again, let alone gets them back. AITA for not wanting to pay my sister's college tuition? I'm a 28-year-old woman, and my sister is 19. Our parents divorced when we were kids, and we've been living with our mom ever since. Our dad pays child support, but he's not very involved in our lives. My sister recently got accepted into a prestigious university, but it comes with a hefty price tag. She applied for a scholarship, but she didn't get it. Now she's turning to me for help. She's asking me to split the cost of her tuition with her, which would be around $50,000 each. I'm currently working as a nurse, and I've been trying to save as much money as possible for my own future. I have some student loans to pay off, and I'm also saving up for a down payment on a house. I don't want to give up my hard-earned money to pay for my sister's education. When I told her she was being unreasonable, she got upset and accused me of being selfish. She said that family should help each other out, and that she would do the same for me if our situations were reversed. But I don't think it's fair for her to expect me to pay for her education, especially when she didn't get the scholarship she was hoping for. I love my sister and want her to succeed, but I don't think it's my responsibility to pay for her college tuition. AITA for refusing to split the cost with her? NTA. She's not your child, she's not your responsibility. It is sad and awful that she won't get to go, but that's the shitty system, not your fault. I don't blame her for asking, or for being disappointed when you refused, but I do blame her for giving you a hard time about it. Fuck's sake, you are barely better off than a student yourself. I don't blame her for asking. I mean, I do. Unless you know someone is a multi-millionaire, $50,000 is a ludicrous amount to ask for. And even if OP was a multi-millionaire, I still don't think it's okay to ask for $50,000. NTA. You are in department yourself. If you reasonably could help her, you probably would. This is kind of the effect of nobody paying for new college, so you can't pay for hers. This should make sense to her. If she has to pay 100.000 for herself, she won't be able to pay 50.000 for someone else at 28. Especially since I'm assuming that if she got into a prestigious school that costs $100,000, she probably has full rides at other state schools that are still great options. Realistically, Ivy League schools aren't the best options for many situations. FYI, it's DET. Department is an abbreviation for department. She applied for a scholarship? She should be out there submitting applications to anything she potentially qualifies for there. There are databases out there she can check and spend 2 hours each day submitting applications. NTA, she needs to step up and do her part if she wants this school. Exactly this. And she can also take out loans like everyone else who needs to. Also, financial aid. If actual parents are not helping out, then she should be able to get some help. She needs to make sure they are not claiming her as a dependent. Finally, many colleges will allow you to defer enrollment for up to 1 year. She can get a job and start saving. You're not her parent and not responsible for her tuition. If she can't afford it, she should attend somewhere with lower tuition. NTA. Or take a loan. Obviously, there are downsides, but she can weigh her options and decide if the debt is worth it or if she wants to find a cheaper university to attend. NTA. Your sister can take out student loans. This is something she needs to figure out without impacting you. FRESP, because she took out student loans for her nursing degree. It doesn't make sense that her sister would expect different. Sometimes you gotta make a tough choice and go to a state school because it's more affordable if you don't want such huge loans on your back. And she needs to think about the ROI specific to her major. Sadly, sad face. NTA. That's pretty weird that she'd expect you to say yes. A sibling isn't obligated to provide support. NTA. It's easy for her to say she'd give you the money if the roles were reversed. They're not, and you've already gone through college, so they never will. Easy for her to say she'd be generous in a situation that will never happen. She needs to apply for more than one scholarship and consider options like loans, going to a cheaper school or one with more financial aid, doing her Gen Eds at a community college, taking a gap year to work and save money. NTA, your parents can help pay for her schooling or she can take out loans. It's not your job to pay her way. NTA. Don't dump on her too much. She's young, incredible opportunity, and she's afraid it's going to slip away. She sees you as a lifeline. Sadly, she will need to go path of debt. I think it's a mistake. A 19-year has no concept on how crushing interest will be on such a large amount of student debt. A debt that can't be discharged in bankruptcy and follows you for the rest of your life. NTA. She applied to a prestige, probably expensive, university knowing that the price would be high. A scholarship is not something you can bet your entire life on. Did she have any other universities she got into that might be cheaper? If so, she can go to one of those and not act entitled to other people's money. AITA for screwing my chairs to my table to prevent people from moving the chairs in front of my doorway? Background: picture a long narrow townhome with a combined living/dining, then stairs and a doorway to a kitchen behind. I have a rectangular dining table that can seat 6, but in the space seats 4, 2 chairs on each long side. If any chair is moved to the end/head of the table, it either blocks the stairs or the doorway to the kitchen. For whatever reason, even though it's just myself, 35F, and my children, 13M Mike, and 8F, Mike always moves a chair to the end blocking the kitchen door. I have asked repeatedly he not do this. I can't get dinner to the table. We use this table for all our meals, without squishing myself against the wall like a contortionist or waiting for him to get up and move. Repeat this 3x a meal at least 3x a day, and you get the point of how annoying this is. Note, for large meals, I turn the table and get the extra chairs from the attic, and for the 2-3x a month this happens, it's no big deal. It's the everyday occurrence that's an issue. What's worse is my mother, Grandma, old F, does the same exact thing. She comes over at least 4x a week for dinner. She is larger than Mike, so squishing past is not an option, and I'm left to crawl through the pass-through from the stair landing into the kitchen because that takes less time than asking her to move and waiting for her to dramatically grunt and get up and push her chair in. Here's the question: last night, after taking care of 2 sick kids all week, I got their illness. But worse, I got hit with a 104.6 fever and fell asleep on the couch. At about 2 a.m. I woke up dying of thirst, and while barely able to stand, I tried to make my way in the dark to the kitchen for water. I fell over the stupid chair, which was at the end of the table, again. I have literally begged every day for the past 3 years to stop putting the chair there. I had enough. I got out my screw gun. I screwed the legs of all 4 chairs to the coordinating legs of the table so they cannot be moved from the long sides of the table. It is now like a fixed fast food table with attached seats. Mike woke up and called Grandma complaining, and the two of them are telling me I'm crazy and this is uncalled for and I am overreacting because I'm sick. They are also mad that I hid the screw gun and Mike can't move his chair where he wants. I responded that it's my house, my table and chairs, which are old, and since I'm in construction I could fix the holes easily if I so chose. AITA? ETA, I keep being asked/told to get new furniture. 1. The table/chairs do fit the space if the chairs stay on the long sides of the table. It's a 6 table. Each person gets 3 foot of space if they just leave the chair alone. 2. Sitting in front of the door gives the worst view of all 4 sides, looking out the window at the roof of my 15-year-old car and neighbor's siding, so it's not a preference of some gorgeous picturesque landscape either. Edit the word end to side because maybe that's why there was confusion over me needing a new table? NTA. It's a simple, pretty reasonable rule that you had to endure being breached for 3 whole years. It's actually incredibly rude to have your chair blocking the door. I would have been pissed. The tripping over it and falling down while sick and in need of water was my tipping point. I always say to both of them, if you insist on sitting on the short side of the table, can you at least block the stairs and not the kitchen door? So when Grandma comes, Mike will sit on the long side, but neither will sit on the short side that doesn't block the kitchen door. I don't get it. Yeah, after a month of people not doing it, all the chairs would have been in the attic and you can stand and eat for a month. Chairs would be brought back with the rule that if they can't push their chair in, they're going back to the attic. Ha ha ha, so NTA, this kind of inventive passive aggression is just amusing. Moving a chair around is not a human right. Sit in it. Thank you for the laugh. I'm gonna go to Grandma's house and push her couch in front of her bathroom door and assert my human right to seating location selecting. Exactly this. NTA. This is your house. Make it clear it's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. Grandma and 13-year-old don't get a vote, especially on a safety/access issue. NTA. They are just mad because you managed to screw them out of their annoying habit. NTA. Your mom is bolstering your son's entitlement. I think you should have a talk with her. They are your kids, in your home, not hers. While it might seem trivial to some, it is disrespectful to you to treat you as if you're a guest in your own home. I noticed you didn't disclose her age, because you have some manners. I have no idea where you got them from, because your mother clearly has none. I didn't want to post too much to sway the vote, but you are 100% correct. I learned about the importance of boundaries after being raised by someone who makes it a sporting event to treat boundaries as obstacles to smash into obliteration for fun. It is almost a game for the two of them in an let's see how mad she gets if we sit in the doorway again kind of way. NTA. I'm honestly surprised at all the replies telling you to get rid of your table. The table isn't the problem. The problem is that a grown-ass adult, grandmother, and a 13 years old have been blatantly ignoring you for 3 years. Gee, wonder where the teenager gets it from. If they can't respect a very simple request, especially while you're trying to do something for them, feed them, then they deserve what they get. They probably should be thankful they get to sit in a chair at all after 3 years. NTA. I may have taken the guess you're not getting food route. Same. You're blocking the door again, leaving food in here. Come serve yourself and just fix a plate for yourself and eat in the kitchen. Rinse and repeat. I'd have just gotten rid of the chairs, lol. NTA, what you screw and how you screw it is your own business. NTA. Everything is yours and you were getting rid of a significant safety hazard. Maybe a compromise, not that you have to provide any, would be a hinge connecting a chair leg to a table leg so the chairs can pivot/swing for people to sit more easily without moving them to positions that would block the kitchen or stairs. I missed the window of McDonald's renovating their locations, or at this point I'd go dumpster dive for that commercial welded swinging chair table thing. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.